Mr. Drew, would you like to come up? And let's give Rick a big hand, and he'll...
Well, at the beginning of the month, our mayor, Bob Keller, held a Canyon Country town hall meeting, and it was held at the Fair Oaks Ranch Community School. There was approximately 70 people there, give or take. It was actually pretty well attended. And the meeting started with the mayor, and he talked about the city, and he told everybody what a great place this is to work, live, raise a family. And, you know, he really pushed Santa Clarita. And, you know, it is a great place. But that was basically his talk. And then he introduced our new city manager, Ken Striplin. And Ken talked about how the city has been given a AAA credit rating, and it's maintained that. And he also then talked about crime levels, and he was talking about in Santa Clarita, the 2010 crime levels have dropped to the lowest ever for Santa Clarita in the record. And so, you know, that's basically what he had to say. And then they introduced the sheriff captain, Captain Paul Becker, and he made a presentation. And he talked about the zone policing that they've started here in Santa Clarita, where they've divided the Santa Clarita Valley up into 8 zones. Canyon Country is a large area, so it has 2. It has an east and it has a west. And there's Deputy Jeremy Carr is in charge of the west Canyon Country area, which goes to basically Sierra Highway west. And then Deputy Anna Rubalcava. Anyway, she's in charge of the east side. And if you perchance get Nixle or get text messages from the sheriffs, they send, or even emails, if you sign up on the sheriff's website, they give out weekly reports on what's going on in the areas and what they've had going on, Part 1 crimes and that type of thing, to tell you the areas and what's going on. So then Captain Becker also talked about the J-Team, the Juvenile Intervention Team, which he said was a Santa Clarita station-based unit, and it's they work with drug problems with the kids, and they're just out here as an extra special unit, trying to keep things squared away. He also talked about heroin problems out here and the drug problems in Santa Clarita. And he says, 2012, he stated that there was 19 heroin OD deaths, with the youngest person actually being 16 years old that passed away from the overdose of heroin. So he says, in that problem they're still working on. And I've been to meetings before where he said that most of the heroin and stuff comes from the San Fernando Valley that comes out here. It's not really, they don't have that many drug dealers out here dealing. They're imported from Silmar is where a lot of them come from. So anyway, he also stated that with the annexation of Fair Oaks and Jake's Way, that the Sheriff's Department has added 2 extra deputies to patrol Canyon Country area. So now we've got an extra couple of deputies on patrol out here with the addition of Fair Oaks and Jake's Way. So then the meeting was open to questions. Well, Bob took basically 11 questions. One was on high-speed rail, which he called, I don't have the words he called, but he said the city's working on it. They're trying to, what they're trying to do is get the high-speed rail to extend the tunnel an extra 2 miles, because the tunnel is supposed to pop up around Fair Oaks area, or between Fair Oaks and Vista Canyon. And they want to extend it 2 miles underground, so then it pops up out past all the residential. Then another question was on the Golden Valley Road Bridge, which they stated that that's in the capital improvement plan this year, and that they're still in the process with Caltrans, but that's supposed to start this year. Then there was a question on trash and recycling bandits, and they kind of said there's not a lot they can do about that. You can report them, but there's other crimes that are bigger than guys stealing your trash cans. Then Ruth Ann from Sand Canyon asked about the carpool lane that they've opened up there on the 14, and wanted to know how come there's no entrance around Placerita Canyon. You've got to go clear down to Newhall Avenue before you can get into the carpool lane now. What that had to do with Canyon Country, I don't know, but she asked that. They brought up the question of White's Canyon and the medians and stuff and the landscape maintenance district for White's Canyon. City's partial response was that you guys didn't want it, but it is planned to come back to the table this year. So then there's some questions on the pile of debris on the south side of the 14, which actually is not in the city. They thought Merle was talking about the pile of gravel that's right across from Costco, which I call Mount Canyon Country, but they said that's all Caltrans debris, and Caltrans hasn't figured out how to get rid of that yet. That's when they resurfaced the 14 freeway, they ground everything up, made out of that big gravel pile, and they don't know what they're going to do with it. Said so they recommended if you need some gravel, call Caltrans. They'll probably give you some.
Rick,
yes.
Could we form a party and plant the flag at the top?
We should. We should. We need to take a picture and mount it. Anyway, then they bypassed the question on the debris that's on the south side of the 14, which is a pile of cement and asphalt because it's on private property. But they said they'd get back to Merle on that one. Another lady asked a question about what the city's doing about the carbon footprint. And, of course, they put her to greensantaClarita.com and told her to check on that. Then Bertha asked about gangs in Canyon Country. And then they told her that there's only one generational gang left here in Santa Clarita. It's in Newhall. And they didn't really answer much more question about that, did they? No. And then Bob talked about how the city has an anti-graffiti campaign here in the city, and I got to give the city kudos about their graffiti abatement. I mean, they do an excellent job on that. I mean, you just go into the valley, and it's like night and day. We have like next to zero, and it's all over down there. So, it's really good the city's doing that, and Bob pushed that and said, they're doing a great job, and they are. Then John from Fair Oaks said he's a new resident to Santa Clarita. Welcome to the Canyon Country Advisory Committee meeting. And he said he's got an email list of 250 people in Fair Oaks, and they've had a lot of questions. So he had a whole list of questions he was going to ask Bob, and Bob gave him one question. And he was asking about the Vista Canyon project, and then he wanted to know about the parking around the construction of the new apartments. And then they told him, well, he didn't really tell him anything.
What he said about the parking is that was all designed when it was county, and the city has much stricter guidelines in regards to that.
Right. But that's all he said. So then they were talking about the beautification of Sierra Highway, and it was stated that the city has on the capital improvement plan that they're doing medians from Golden Valley to Friendly Valley Parkway. Well, everybody asked, what about Golden Valley down to Newhall on the other side? And they said, well, that's Caltrans owns that part of the road, and they're not going to touch it. And then the last question was one of the residents asked, he said that they're tired of having cheap businesses here in Canyon Country. Why can't we get other kind of businesses here besides dollar stores and that type of thing? And, yes, and massage parlors. Yeah, Bob's big on massage parlors. So anyway, so at the meeting they had city staff at tables around the outside of the venue, and you could go talk to the people from the city, and I did. I talked to them about several of the medians on Soledad, which with dead plants and no trees and that type of thing, and are you guys going to replace them? And I don't have the gentleman's name right now, but I did invite him to come to next month's meeting, and hopefully he'll be here to talk about the different medians in the city. But you could go ask the people, and it was valuable to go talk to the staff if you had questions. So basically, for Bob, we got through those 11 questions, and his hour was up, and he was ready to get the hell out of Dodge, and there wasn't many other questions answered. It was a real kind of a rah-rah meeting for the city, and most of the questions were answered generally, but there wasn't a lot of specifics. But of course, talk to staff after the meeting's over, or like what they do basically at a city council meeting. Also talk to the staff. So that was a bit. And like Al said, the next town hall meeting is April 30th, which is Tuesday in Saugus, and then also on May 8th in Valencia. And if you didn't get to go to these, I recommend that you go and state what you would have to say, or if you have a question, ask him the question. Put him on the spot, but you'll get some answers from staff. But from the mayor, you'll get general answers. Yes. Oh, yes, yes.
Mayor Bob Keller also mentioned that CEMEX was about to come to a head, and that he felt that maybe 2014 it would be resolved, and that was a big point.
That's true. He did. Thank you, Bert. Yeah, CEMEX. Hopefully, it'll be done and out of our hair in 2014.
Can I add something too?
Sure.
While some of the answers might have been general, but the city staff was there to give specific answers, yes, or to respond to needs or wants. But think back, the last time we've had town hall meetings was the last time he was the mayor. So this is a step in the right direction. I
agree.
And the others haven't seen fit to do it. So I think that needs to be moved.
I agree. It was a great attempt, and it was nice to see 70 people there. Too bad there couldn't have been 170 people there. But the more people that are educated about the city, the better the city will be, and it keeps everybody on their toes, and we keep this place the good place that Bob says it is, because it is. But it keeps, everybody needs to keep their eyes open and ask questions. Judy gave me a thing that she got from the city. There's maps. In fact, there's some in the back of the capital improvements that are scheduled for here in Canyon Country this year, during this fiscal year. And they are the Golden Valley Road median improvements, which they're going to improve. If you go from Sierra Highway down to Center Point, there are no medians. It's just dirt. And they're supposed to put in landscaping and curbs and all that kind of stuff there this year. Sierra Highway street improvements and a pedestrian bridge, which would be at Golden Valley, mainly for the kids to cross over Sierra Highway there at Golden Valley. Golden Valley Road over State Route 14, which is they're going to basically double the size of that bridge. It's supposed to be at least 4 lanes, I believe. And then the Sierra Highway median renovation, which, and then the Sierra Highway over the Sierra Highway Bridge over the Santa Clara River. They're going to, I guess, work on that bridge over the river. Safe routes to school, Fair Oaks Elementary. Safe routes to school, Sky Blue Mesa. Lost Canyon Bridge widening. I think that's the bridge in front of Pinecrest School. That's going to be widened because they're going to put a traffic circle in there at Lost Canyon and Sand Canyon in the next couple of years. So if you don't get enough traffic circles from Newhall, you'll be able to get one in Canyon Country also. Sand Canyon beautification at State Route 14, they're going to improve the landscaping around the off-ramps of the exit off the 14 freeway. Another safe routes to school at Pine Tree Elementary. And then the last one is the annual overlay and slurry seal of Shadow Pine. So they've completed that, but there was one on the plans. We went to the community meeting and they had the plans all laid out and everything. One of the plans was they were going to put a walkway from Granda Flores to the bus stop on Shadow Pines because it's all dirt. And in the plans was a sidewalk. Well, the road's done, striped, got reflectors and everything else. There's no walkway. So I just happened to send an email to Mr. Newman at the Public Works, and I got a response, and he says, well, that sidewalk's supposed to be in the next couple of weeks. So it's still on the books that they're putting the sidewalks in, but I'm keeping an eye on the sidewalk to get there. So we don't have to crawl through the mud if you want to go to the bus stop. So anyway, that's what they've got planned in Canyon Country. And like I say, the meeting was good. He could have answered more questions, but like he said, they had staff to give you more details. So I encourage everybody to attend this August town hall meeting and also the Valencia. Yes, Berta.
One more addition. Because of our new friends in Fair Oaks, they also mentioned that there's going to be a brand new monument entry sign into the city that, of course, they're going to have to move because it's currently smaller and right about Costco, which would not include you. So they're going to make a nice big one so that it makes sure to include them.
Good for you.